to pay very, very close attention. We're going to ask 5 quiz questions at some point during the show, and the first person to answer receives a $5 Starbucks card. To answer the question, you just need to drop it into the question box, and the first one in, of course, wins the card. So, again, pay close attention to our suppliers and, of course, what they're talking about with their products. Now, brand breakdown. I know it can be a little confusing because we have quite a few brands, Travel2 being one of the prominent brands, of course, for North America. But I just want to give you a quick breakdown on how they sit both in the U.S. and in Canada. Our parent company is called Hello World, and it owns multiple brands. Now, in the U.S., Qantas Vacations is our Australia brand. So this is where you're going to be able to book Qantas Airways along with your product, whether it be in Australia or New Zealand, but as long as you're using Qantas Airways. From time to time, you will see us email under our Qantas Vacations brand, and that's usually when we've got some really fantastic promotions to share with you that have to be booked through our Qantas Vacations brand. Then, of course, we have our Travel2. Now, that big 2 stands for B2B business. We're 100% dedicated to you and your business. We don't do any direct marketing or take direct bookings. We're solely a B2B and here to support you. Now, Travel2, you can book Australia, New Zealand, and Asia. And, of course, you will probably hear from us most often under our Travel2 email. Then in the U.S., we have Islands in the Sun. This is our luxury island product that, again, you've got loads of information under, and we do have a website for that, as well as Qantas Vacations and Travel2 as well. Then we have our Insider Journeys brand. Now, this is a newer brand for you. Now, Insider Journeys was always part of our brand family, but it's really come under our Travel2 brand now, and this is for your small group Southeast Asia trips. So, again, you may see us be emailing you through that as well. Now, in Canada, it's a little bit more simplified. Just remember Travel2. Everything is funneled through Travel2. And then, of course, if it's Southeast Asia, it's Insider Journeys. If you're ever interested in looking at a brand breakdown video, let us know. We have a really fantastic video that we can send you. And I wish I could play it during the webinar, but sadly the webinar system doesn't allow video. It's kind of choppy. So if you're interested in it, just let us know and we can send it off to you. It's a really great promotional brand breakdown. Now, of course, we've got a very large team here in the U.S. and in Canada, starting with our VP, Justine Littlelow. And then in the U.S., we have Janie Hall, we have Ward Reed, Andrew Bartholomew, and Yuri Vera there to help you with any of your requests. And I'm sure most of you are very familiar with them. And then, of course, Canadians Online. I'm your contact. I'm your Director of Sales here. So if you need anything at all, please feel free to reach out. Now, we are a full-service wholesaler, so a one-stop shop. But if you are looking for air consolidation, we have an air consolidation desk that can quote quick nets over the phone for you, and we have all the right airlines in place. Newly added is Emirates and United. Of course, if you have any groups, we'd love to help with that as well. Now, when it comes to groups, please reach out to your Director of Sales. So whether it be Andrew, Janie, Ward, Yuri, or myself, because we like to get involved in the group space. We know how hard it is for you to go out and market these groups, so we want to help where we can. But more importantly, we've been to these destinations, so we know some really great group products, and of course we can always give you suggestions and ideas of what you can do with the group. And then, of course, if you need help with your marketing, you can reach out to us as well. Here in Canada, I always like to do a branded flyer for you with all the specs of the group, and then an online presentation, much like what you're looking at here. Again, all branded. So we can set the date. You can go out and market to everyone and say, hey, come see the show. It's all about the group itinerary that we're hoping you'll book, and they can enjoy it from their home with a glass of wine. Of course, I'll hop on and I'll deliver the presentation. It is solely based on the group and what is included in that group, and it takes them from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep, what is included in that itinerary, because we all know visual aids help close those sales. So when your clients are looking at these beautiful pictures of our destinations, they're getting excited about going themselves. So it will help you close those sales. Now, our destinations are South Pacific and Asia, so Australia, New Zealand, French Polynesia, Fiji, Cook Islands, and, of course, Asia. And we've just added the Maldives as well. So if you're interested in any Maldives stuff, please have a look at our website. We actually do have a little mini brochure there that you can have a look at as well. Now, what I'm going to do here is open up the line. We're very excited. We have Air New Zealand here with us, and Brian, who is going to take you on a quick little presentation on what's new with Air New Zealand. So Brian, thank you so much for joining us today, and the floor is yours.
Well, thanks, Leah. That's that's my picture up there. That's me. So my name's Brian Jobling. I'm based in Toronto, Canada, for anybody who's out of country at the moment. And I'm a regional sales manager based here. We've got 2 managers based in Canada and 1 out in Vancouver. So Leah was gracious enough to ask us to give a bit of an update on what's new and exciting with Air New Zealand. So I'll run through a very brief presentation, not to kind of inundate you with material, and then I actually have to hop off, but Leah has kindly noted that any questions that you might have, please feel free to ask them, and then you can either be connected with myself or we'll correspond and get the questions answered. So I'll jump in here. I think I have control. There we go. So welcome aboard Air New Zealand. We do have some new information. We've been working on in May, so that information is a little bit dated, but it has entered in. It's not fully up and functional on all of our long-haul service, but the technology had changed a couple of years ago. Previously, you were getting signal that was coming from the ground up to the planes, and we found, flying across the Pacific, we were losing service and not offering kind of a high quality product to our customers, so we chose not to offer it at all. Now technology has changed. It's coming from the satellite down, and so we're working on that. So expect to see Wi-Fi available over the coming year. It should be up and running by the end of 2018. And I don't have an exact cost for you at the moment, but it'll be a charge service, but be in line with kind of industry standards for that. We probably our biggest and our newest and biggest information to share with you guys is our Chicago launch. So we're going to be flying out of Chicago starting the end of November, and I actually have a few slides dedicated to that, so I'll circle back to that. For anybody based in the U.S., we have a revenue share agreement with United, so that only applies to point of sale U.S. But basically, if you are flying from anywhere in the States and you book a ticket on a United ticket, you could actually be flying on Air New Zealand. So this only applies from point of sale U.S. and point of origin U.S. Going down to New Zealand specifically, and there's a small carve out. But United has been a really great partner. They have some service flying from San Francisco to Auckland, which is recommencing this year. So it'll be year-round service with 3 times a week in the North American summer to complement our services. Our Vancouver capacity has grown again this year. So we grew by almost 20% last year, and we've added an additional 6.4% capacity. A lot of that goes towards our peak season. So, around Christmas time here in Canada, and then again a little bit in midsummer. But the idea is we're looking to be kind of an average daily year-round service. We also have a new route from Taipei to Auckland, just in case you have any clients that may be going there. And just wanted to brag a little bit, and I'll get into some more details again later. But as far as destinations that we service, we did win some awards through TripAdvisor as well as through Skytrax, which came out. And again, I'll touch on Skytrax afterwards, but TripAdvisor voted us as second best airline in the world, best premium economy class, and then best business class and economy class in the South Pacific. So we're very proud of the accolades. It's nice for myself and my colleagues that the easiest part of our job is the actual product. But I mentioned Chicago. So right now, out of North America, we fly Vancouver out of Canada, and then San Francisco, LA, Houston, and Honolulu out of the US. And then as of November 30th, we'll be flying Chicago. So that'll be a nonstop flight out of Chicago O'Hare going down to Auckland. And the idea is to service both the Chicago area, but really the Midwest as well as the East Coast of the U.S. and Canada. You can see some of the city pairings that we think this is going to be great for here. So for travelers coming out of Montreal, Ottawa, or Toronto in Canada, Chicago we think is going to be a second best option. We do see most of our travelers wanting to go through Canada when they come out of the Eastern Canada, and they go through our Vancouver gateway. But Chicago we expect to be a strong second choice. And as far as the frequency for that service, so it will be starting at 3 days a week, starting November 30th. And the flight is going to be leaving Chicago O'Hare at 6:55 in the evening, and then we'll arrive early in the morning at 6:45 a.m. So great for clients to kind of go and start the day in New Zealand, and whether their journey takes them onwards to another destination in New Zealand or across the Tasman, that 6:45 arrival time is a big plus. And actually, we have a lot of travelers when they go down, you hop on the flight, have a meal, watch a movie, go to sleep, wake up, have a meal, maybe watch a movie while you're doing that, and then you land again first thing in the morning. So it's considering the distance, it's about as kind of natural a process as you can get. And then coming back, actually, I'm even more excited about the arrival time coming back into North America. So the flight will leave Auckland at 8:15 at night, and then will arrive into Chicago at 4:25 local time. And so the nice thing about that is it gives us plenty of time to catch connections onwards, whether again it's Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. Nice easy transition time. So I think that'll be great. You don't have to have a either cross country or cross continent 5-hour flight when you get back. Maybe just hop on board an hour and a half flight and you're home. So very excited about that. It's for sale in the GDS right now. And actually the product that's going to be on that route will be our kind of updated 787 Dreamliner. So we've increased the number of business premier seats from 18 to 27, and the number of premium economy seats from 21 to 33. So it's really a premium focused product. It's a beautiful airplane for anybody who's flown on a Dreamliner. And in addition to the premium economy and business premier seats, we'll still have our patented Sky Couch seats, which you can see will be here in the green. Oh, there we go. We're both covering it. So great options kind of no matter what cabin you're traveling in. And then speaking of our cabins, this is actually my last slide here, but I just wanted to continue to kind of toot our own horn. So for those of you who are not familiar with my friend here, this is Pete. Pete is a Kiwi, both in spirit and in an actuality. So he's our new brand ambassador, and Pete is a flightless bird who has found that Air New Zealand is a better way to fly. So we have a lot of really great content that you can find online about Pete going and exploring the airplanes, exploring the different cabins, and really giving some life to our product. So he's a really lovable character. And you see here, he's sitting in our premium economy seat. So these are the leather recliner seats with a footrest. Premium economy comes with access to our premium check-in counter. You get a small amenities kit. You get a menu to select your meals from. It's a totally separate cabin. So it's a big, like I said, leather recliner seat, kind of like a domestic business class product almost. But for those of you who aren't aware, the Skytrax Awards were just a couple weeks ago. And I can't remember how many times we've won it now, but we've once again just won Best Premium Economy Cabin in the world, as well as Best Premium Economy Seating. So, it's a fantastic product for anybody who, if you're going on a 12-hour flight, up to 16 hours, I think it's going to be out of Chicago, then it's a nice upgrade to go to sit in a nice comfy seat for the trip. So the product, as I said, is kind of the easiest part of our job. The other award I wanted to mention, Condé Nast Traveler voted us top airline in the world last year. So anytime that you're booking your clients on Air New Zealand, they're bound to have a great time. And we really kind of focus on the New Zealand experience, starting right when you get on board. You get welcomed with a nice kia ora, and you go from there. So I think that's kind of it for me. And thanks everybody again. If you do have any questions, I'll be hopping off here, but I'm sure Leia will be more than happy to pass them along.
Thank you so much, Brian. That was great. Good, quick update. Lots of great information, everyone. Awards left, right, and center. I mean, Air New Zealand, they are the best in the air. Best service, best comfort, best way to get to our destination. So thanks again, Brian. And anybody who hasn't seen Pete yet, he's fantastic. So you can actually go on to YouTube and look up some of the Air New Zealand videos, and his will pop up, and it's really, really, really good. So I do highly recommend that you have a look at that at some point. And while you're there, take a look at some of their other videos as well. It's got quite a bit of comedy. They're really fantastic, and it's a great start to your client's journey when they're playing videos like this when they get onto the airline. Because remember, their tour doesn't start on the ground. Their tour starts in the air. So definitely make sure to have a look at those. And I'm actually going to pass the floor over now to Renata from Tourism New Zealand. Thank you for joining us, Renata. I know that we've got quite a bit to go through, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time here. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Perfect. Kia ora, everybody. Thank you so much, Leia, for that wonderful introduction and for having us here today. Thank you, everybody, again for tuning in. We realize that you are very busy people, so I'm going to just jump straight into it all. And if you do have any questions, feel free to send those through, and we can talk about it at the end of this section. But we have a New Zealand 101 presentation for you today. We're going to cover some of the regions that are well known, and also include some of the regions that are up and coming, and we're getting a lot more questions about recently as well. So let's begin. What have we got covered? We're going to cover basically we're going to go from north to south today, and we're going to cover what there is to see and do, what to take with you, and then towards the end of my presentation, we'll talk about the training and tools and resources that Tourism New Zealand has to help make your life easy, and also to get some fantastic resources for yourself and your clients. So just to begin, a very, very quick overview. We are a collection of a couple of different islands all the way in the bottom of the South Pacific Ocean. We are in the bottom of your screen there. You can see two distinct islands. The island to your right is the North Island, and you can see the tropical, subtropical waters there. And then the South Island is towards the left, bottom left of your screen, and you can see the snow-capped mountains there. So you can see already the contrast and the diversity of the experiences that we're going to be talking about when we talk about both islands. To give you an idea of our place in the world, the top left corner of your screen is the eastern seaboard of Australia. You can see the lights there of Sydney and Brisbane. And then in the top right, you have the islands of New Caledonia. So you can get a rough idea of where we are in the world. We, like this version of the world map, you can see us in the middle of the world. We have a population the size of 4.5 million, and yet our landmass is similar to that of the Great Britain, of Japan, and also the length of California. So we have a number of ways to get down there, and obviously Air New Zealand is our airline of choice. They are our national carrier, and they service 5 major gateways from North America, and we're very excited about that Chicago service as well. What time of year do we suggest coming down? Well, it's always a good time to come to New Zealand, but particularly our high season is the summer months, so December through February, where your average temperatures are about 15 to 25 degrees in the summer, and then the fall and the spring, you've got beautiful cool mornings warming up to wonderful days. It's really, really perfect, an ideal time for the active traveller to get out and about amongst nature in the morning when it's cooler, and then enjoying a glass of wine and a relax in the afternoon when it starts to get a little bit warmer as well. What to bring? Well, New Zealand is definitely a destination where you can have 4 seasons in one day. our number one piece of advice would be for you to pack in layers. We always recommend packing a light raincoat or anorak with you because New Zealand is known to be green for a reason. There is also one thing we definitely recommend for you to bring with you is sunscreen. New Zealand does have a limited ozone layer compared to other parts of the world, and so sunscreen is advised all year round in our part of the world as well. Well, why New Zealand? Well, we believe that we offer a range of experiences, a diverse range of experiences across a very small footprint. We have a unique culture that we're going to talk about in a little bit more detail on how you can experience that. We've got some pretty good food and wine. We have very friendly people down there that are willing to share their stories with you, and we are known as a safe and secure destination as well. So let's compare and contrast the North and South Islands. The North Island is a warmer climate. It's subtropical. It's where most of our major cities are, including Auckland, our international gateway. You'll find shorter drive times between the cities, and you'll find rolling hills, rainforest, and world-class beaches. I like to describe the North Island as the Hobbit movies. And then we compare that to the South Island, which I like to call colloquially the Lord of the Rings movies. This is dramatic scenery. This is alpine glaciers and driving. This is much less populated. You've got big wide open plains, braided rivers, cooler climate. It's in fact subtropical in climate as well. What is there to see and do? Well, you are able to self-drive in New Zealand, and we have dedicated resources for self-drive travellers. We do drive on the left-hand side, which some may say is the right-hand side of the road. So we do have a lot of resources for you for self-drive. There are organised coach tours that Leia and the team at Travel2 can connect you with. We also have some scenic rail journeys, which we'll talk about as well, which is definitely must include in a New Zealand itinerary as well. One thing we are mentioning more and more is that there is very good value for money with the New Zealand exchange rate. The New Zealand exchange rate is the New Zealand dollar is weak at the moment, so for the Canadian traveller, that means that you have your money goes just that little bit further when you get down as well. So let's begin our tour of the country. Auckland is your major international gateway. This is where all of the flights from North America, the non-stop flights from North America arrive into. You can see on the bottom right of your screen as we go through the next few slides exactly where we're talking about with the identification of that little blue dot there. Auckland is home to 1.5 million New Zealanders. It is our largest city, and by international standards, we appreciate that it's not very large, but that is for us. You'll find a world-class restaurant and bar scene, fantastic coffee, and access to black sand beaches on the west coast, and Waiheke Island, which is a 30-minute ferry ride from downtown Auckland, and you find yourself on a winemaker's paradise with a number of vineyards over there, which you can enjoy lunch at. There's eco zip lining across the island as well, and tours of the beaches over there. We head north of Auckland to the Bay of Islands region, which is a 3-hour drive north of Auckland, or about a 45-minute heli from Auckland. You are surrounded by some of the oldest forests known to man, with the ancient Cody Forest. And the Cody Forest, these magnificent giant trees, which are about 4,500 years old. It is also the home to the birthplace of a nation in the Waitangi Treaty Grounds, where the treaty was signed between Her Majesty Queen Victoria and our Māori people, creating what we know today as modern New Zealand. This is those types of trees and specimens that we're talking about. This is Tane Mahuta, and just to give you an idea of the scale, it will take about 14 people arm in arm around his base till they're touching together again. So the photos don't do it justice, but that's the sort of thing that you'll find in the Bay of Islands in Northland. We head south now, and we're going even south of Auckland to the Waikato region and to Waitomo Glowworm Caves. Time magazine called the Waitomo Caves one of the top 100 things to do in the world before you die. It is home to a range of activities, including very leisurely walks through the Glowworm Caves to blackwater rafting, where you take a tire tube through some of these dark caverns with a guide, of course, and you experience this in a little bit more energetic way as well. In Waikato, you'll also find one of our most iconic attractions in the country, Hobbiton. Hobbiton is a living movie set where the films, the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies, were filmed. It is the Shire location, situated on a private farmland 2.5 hours drive south of Auckland. The gardens are beautifully kept. You can conclude your tour at the Green Dragon Inn with a pint of farthing beer. Half of the people who visit Hobbiton haven't actually seen the movies, so it is definitely a must-do on your New Zealand itinerary. There you go, absolutely beautiful. We move south of Hobbiton in the Waikato to the Bay of Plenty region, and specifically to Rotorua, which is where I hail from originally. Rotorua is the cultural heart of New Zealand, and it is home to our geothermal hotspots. So you'll find in Rotorua, you'll find Māori cultural experiences, so home-hosted dinners with local families. You'll get to enjoy the sights of Pohutu Geyser, the tallest geyser in the Southern Hemisphere. You'll also find mud pots, coloured springs and pools, and living volcanic islands such as White Island off the coast of the Bay of Plenty as well, which is really a fantastic experience, and really it makes you appreciate the enormity of nature as well. We move inland now to the Tongariro National Park. We're getting more and more requests about the Tongariro National Park, and Leia and the team have lots of detail about the walking and hiking options in New Zealand. Tongariro is a day walk, and it is about an hour and a half drive from Taupo, which is just down the road from Rotorua, and serious volcanic landscapes. This is where the Mordor scenes are actually set. We move to the Hawke's Bay, and remembering, just a reminder that the little blue dot on the bottom right of your screen denotes exactly where we're referring to. The Hawke's Bay region is known as our red wine appellation. This is where beautiful, big, bold, Burgundy-style reds are made. It's also an Art Deco town. In the 1920s, they suffered a huge earthquake, which leveled the town, but they rebuilt it completely in the style of the day, and so it is an Art Deco historic town. You are able to take a tour through the vineyards or around town in vintage cars and get dressed up in a flapper dress or whatever you fancy as well. There's also some fantastic golf in Hawke's Bay with the Cape Kidnappers Golf Course, and this is a lodge on that course with beautiful 180-degree views of the Pacific. On the property at Cape Kidnappers, they do include a kiwi bird conservation project, and you can learn about the plight of our flightless national bird there as well. This is that beautiful course at Cape Kidnappers. We move south to the bottom of the North Island now to Wellington, which Lonely Planet described as the coolest little capital in the world. Wellington, this is the Beehive, our Parliament buildings, where all of the laws of New Zealand are made. It's home to our National Museum, Te Papa, and also home to Weta Workshop, where they special effects and a lot of the props department for the Lord of the Rings, Hobbit movies, and a range of other international blockbuster names have and are being made in production. We travel across the Cook Strait to the Marlborough Sounds. Marlborough is the top of the South Island and is accessible via a 3-hour ferry from Wellington or a very quick 45-minute plane journey. The Marlborough Sounds is protected and are made up of a number of coves. You'll see dolphins in there, often chasing you if you're cruising around. You can do a seafood cruise through the Sounds. Marlborough is very, very famous. You probably have in your wine collection at the moment a bottle of New Zealand Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc. It is known for its very clean, crisp flavors, grapefruit, and almost tastes of the ocean air of Marlborough in the glass as well. We move to the east coast of the South Island, just a little bit south of Marlborough, down by Kaikoura. Kaikoura is connected to Picton actually by the Coastal Pacific rail journey, one of our scenic rail journeys, which just unfortunately was by earthquake was out of commission for a year, but is now back for the summer high season. So if you have got visitors going down, guests going down, do make sure you book the Coastal Pacific as part of their itinerary now, as the seats are in hot demand. So Kaikoura is home to wildlife, so including the Hector's dolphin, the smallest dolphin in the world and the most rare. It is home to whale watching. You're able to go and see some of the ginormous monsters of the ocean. They're fed by all of the rich waters around New Zealand and the Kermadec Trench, which isn't far off. Now we move inland a little bit from Kaikoura to Christchurch and Canterbury. Christchurch and Canterbury again, they did have an earthquake around about 6.5 years ago now. Christchurch is a city really on the comeback. They have had a number of hotels there in recent years and a lot more inventory. So this is really helping us because, as you know, New Zealand is a small destination and we do have limited infrastructure and inventory, and all of the new hotels and the refurbished hotels that are coming online are adding a lot more stock to our New Zealand inventory. So definitely include a night stay or two in Christchurch. The International Antarctic Centre is there, and it also is the base for the Transalpine rail journey, which goes across the Southern Alps to the west coast, and has been described as one of the most scenic rail journeys in the world. This is the type of scenery that the Transalpine train takes you across. When you get to the west coast, you have a number of glaciers. We have the Fox and Franz Josef Glacier, and you can do heli hiking or up. This is the only place in the world where you can view glaciers descending into the rainforest as well. So it's quite a unique experience. Got some pretty incredible walks in and around the area as well, which we strongly recommend you take advantage of. Another area which we're getting a lot of requests for recent times is Dunedin. Dunedin is our Scottish heritage city. It is the home to the albatross and the sea lion colony, as well as our penguin colonies as well on the Otago Peninsula. We have the historic Taieri Gorge Railroad, which is one of the most famous rail journeys again in this part of the country. And we definitely recommend Dunedin for a wildlife lover. We head to the west coast now, to the Fiordland National Park, to the UNESCO World Heritage Area. It is the home of Milford, Doubtful and Dusky Sounds. You are able to access this as a day trip from Queenstown, which we'll talk about next, and you can have a range of experiences there, including cruising through the sounds, where you'll see dolphins and all sorts of seals and wildlife, and the incredible views of the sounds as well. We do recommend, if you are going to Fiordland, why not? It is a long drive from Queenstown, about a 5-hour coach journey. You are able to speed that up if your clients have limited time by transferring them by heli as well. Now, Mitre Peak in the Milford Sound is one of the most iconic shots of New Zealand, so you definitely want to include that on your New Zealand itinerary. Again, that was accessible all from Queenstown. Queenstown is our adventure capital. It is where you can jump off of things and into things and out of things. It is the home of AJ Hackett's, the world's first bungee jump as well. If you're wanting to take it a little bit slower, we do have options including golf. We have Jack's Point Golf Course. We have some great food and wine options, including Skyline, which is at the top of the hill overlooking the city as well. In the Southern Lakes area, you have Queenstown, Central Otago, and Wanaka, all fantastic scenery that really is the stuff of fairy tales. So that's our very quick journey through the country. I hope that gives you a great overview of what both the North and South Islands have to offer and the diversity of those experiences. Now we'll touch on how Tourism New Zealand is here to assist and help you. Well, we have a number of resources, but our number one is our travel trade website, traveltrade.newzealand.com. This website has our contact details, and we're based in Los Angeles, where you're able to contact us and we can help you with any product information or regional information that you might have, as well as Leia and the team at Travel2. The Travel Trade website has over 45 suggested itineraries. You can download maps, you can download regional highlights, guides such as cruise guides. You can order collateral for your clients, including those pull-out maps, and just a range of information about the New Zealand experiences. All of the visuals that you've seen here are available for your use in your social media and your website. You're able to use these free of charge. We also have our New Zealand Specialist program, so those of you who are interested in becoming a New Zealand Specialist, we do have this program available for you. This is a great opportunity for you. As a New Zealand Specialist, you get a listing on newzealand.com to get those great referrals as well. We do have our Explore card, so for those of you who are looking to get down to New Zealand, Leia and the team, I'm sure, would love to assist you, but we have access to some exclusive airfares that we've negotiated, and then Leia and the team can help patch something together, as well as an Explore card. So we've got 1,000 offers from our New Zealand suppliers who really want to showcase their products to you as well. So that's our Explore Plus program, and for more information, feel free to contact myself or Leia. We do organise FAMs, and we are currently in discussions with Leia and the team at Travel2 about some options as well. So we do generally like to work with our wholesaler or our tour operator partners because we realise that as the tourism board, we can't actually contract products, so it makes more sense for us to work with our tour operator partners as well. We do have our own trade newsletter, which you can sign up for, as well as our agent community on Facebook. So in summary, that's New Zealand in a very condensed amount of time. There's so much more, and all of the things I've talked about today, we actually have individual webinars on each of them as well, which you can listen to. Those are recorded and made available on our website. I hope we have left the impression that we've got some pretty spectacular landscapes, that we're a safe and secure destination, great value for money when you consider the range of experiences, that we've got excellent tourism infrastructure. We know and appreciate tourism and will welcome your unique visitors warmly as well. So that is me, Leia. Thank you very much for the opportunity again.
Thank you, Ren. That was fantastic. Really good overview of New Zealand as a whole, but also what's available to the advisor to help them get out there and actively market and showcase themselves as specialists once they've done the training. So thank you so much for joining us today, Ren. And excuse me, I apologize, I'm getting over a cold here. But thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And of course, I just want to point out again that there are more in-depth New Zealand webinars available through Tourism New Zealand. So if you're ever interested in that, you can reach out to me or Ren, and we'll definitely point you in the right direction. And we'd be happy to hear from you as well. And if you're actively marketing, let myself or one of our U.S. reps know what you're marketing and how you're marketing it. Get us involved, because we like to help where we can. And I mean, we're all working towards a common goal here, and that's really to make sure that business is being driven to your door. So definitely reach out to us. Okay, so we've got lots well, not lots, but we've got a few more things to look at here while we're talking about marketing. I just want to show you what we have on our website to help you with New Zealand as well. Something I definitely want to point out as well, this little tab here, Destination Training, If you're ready to start your New Zealand Specialist course, we have the link right there for you, and it takes you right to Tourism New Zealand's trade site for your training. So just a quick way to get there. And of course, I'll also put the link in your follow-up email. Now, your follow-up email is going to come to you within a few days. What we're going to wait for is this recording to this presentation to be loaded so that we can share that link with you. And we're hoping that you'll share that link with your colleagues as well so that they can also learn a little bit more about Travel2 and, of course, New Zealand. So how do you use our advisor site? Well, we've got a few really fantastic tools on here. We have customized microsites. When you click on that, you're going to see a whole list of different microsites that we have. Now, the ones that we have that include New Zealand are guided tours, and your clients at the moment can save up to $750 per person on those guided tours. We've just introduced a new microsite for our pre- and post-cruise touring options. I know it says Australia there, but there are New Zealand components to it as well. And this is really your pre- and post around the port of calls in our destinations. We also have the ultimate travel wish list. Now, these are more unique experiences. So like Renata was saying about some of the exciting walks that they have in New Zealand, well, we've got them on that microsite, so you can certainly download that as well. Now, my apologies to Tourism New Zealand because I do have to point this out. We have the Australian Open Tennis. This is brand new for us, and I want you guys to be aware that it's there because we are selling tickets before the public can even get access to it. And if you want to start promoting it in your market, all you have to do is click Customize This Site, and right away it pops up as a URL and gives you your microsite. Now, I did this off of my own profile, so it has my own branding on it, my email and my phone number, but this is where all of your stuff would sit, and this would look like your own generic website. Now, what I do suggest is keeping that URL available to you, so whether you copy and paste it to a note on your desktop or just simply save it in your files somewhere. That way you have quick reference to it if you're going to send it directly to clients. Not to worry if you lose that URL, because if you go through the steps again to customize the site, it gives you the same URL because it's based off of your profile on our advisor site. Now, I know we're going through a lot of steps here, but if you ever get stuck in using our tools, just reach out to one of us and we can walk you through the process. It's like riding a bike. Once you've done it, you'll never forget it. It's so easy. Now, with these microsites, they're all pretty much set up the same. So you'll see that you've got your branding, and then below are packages. Now, with the Australian Open Tennis, we have two packages here, and the main difference is this is the finals package. Sorry, the second one is the finals package, and the qualifiers is the first one. So that's the main difference there. But when your clients click on it, this is what they're going to see. Now, I know you can't read it, but up close, what it is basically the inclusions of the package, travel dates, USD and CAD rates, and your terms and conditions, and that's all your clients can see. From there, they have to call you for any other information. With the open packages, you have reserved seatings at either the men's and women's finals, or of course the Open, the actual Australia Open Tennis Tournament. You have food vouchers, drink vouchers, transfers, complimentary access to a lounge. So you've got lots of great ideas there. And of course, you can extend your clients' trips as well around that package idea. And we just got word this morning that we can sell just the tickets as well. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. But back to New Zealand, we have some other great tools here as well. Our online brochures and requests. Before I forget, I don't want to skip over flyers, but we are revising our New Zealand flyers at the moment, so there will be some more New Zealand flyers there for you to download. And it's one click of a button, you have it. You can print, save, or email, and I can show you how to do all of that if you want at a later date. The online brochures, basically our big vacation planner is the first one you're going to see. Now, this houses lots of our destinations, including New Zealand, and you can request it. Like a print copy of it, we'll send that to you, or you can view it online. When you view it online, it comes up in your browser like this, and you have quick reference tabs here, or you can use the arrow. But what I like to point out to people is that if you wanted to send something to your client, because remember, we're a B2B, we don't produce consumer brochures. So, excuse me, this would be your advisor brochure. But you can share this information with clients. So let's say we wanted to send travel tips to your client. All you would do is click there, it opens right to the page, and from there, all you have to do is click the 3 little tab button down here to give you your more options, and you can see you can share it on your social feeds or you can email it to a client. It's really simple. Once you click email, it just shows up as your email. You just type in your client's email and whatever information you want to add in there with this link to those pages. Or you can simply right-click and you'll see email image, and then it'll pop into an email like that. So it's up to you how you want to do it. We also have our guided tour brochures for Australia and New Zealand. Basically, this is the AAT Kings brochure with our wrap, and then the APT brochure with our wrap. So I hope you were paying close attention because I'm going to ask some questions of you, and the first person in is going to get Starbucks cards. Excuse me, I'm so sorry for coughing in your ear. Okay, number 1, true or false? Air New Zealand will be flying from Chicago. Okay, whoa, and we've got a winner. The first person in, thanks everyone for answering that. First person in is Pamela Hallberg. So congratulations, Pamela. We will make sure to get you a $5 Starbucks card. And I'm just writing your name down. Bear with me, everyone, so I know who to send these cards to. Okay, question number 2. True or false? Condé Nast voted Air New Zealand as the best airline in the world. Okay, and first person in with the right answer is Bernie. Bernie from Merit Travel. Sorry, Bernie, I just don't see your last name here, but you know I know who you are. So I will make sure to send you your Starbucks card, Bernie, not a problem. All right, question number 3. Name the popular glowworm cave on the North Island. All right, and go. All right, first person in. Oh, I love all these answers coming through, and they're all right. John Potter, congratulations, John Potter. We'll make sure to get you your card. Okay, almost done. 4th question. Name the adventure capital of New Zealand. And go. Okay, first person in was Maria Runco. So congratulations, Maria. We will make sure to get you your card. All right, last question. What is, actually, one second here. We're going to save the last question. I'm going to ask the last question in a few moments, okay? So just stay tuned for that question. One second. Okay, so just moving along here, we have an incredible incentive program called Travel Rewards and Incentive Program. We call it TRIP. And this is a one-time registration. Most of you are already registered for this. But if you're not already registered, there will be a link in the follow-up email. You do not need to register every sale you make. I just want to make that clear. You only need to register once, and us reps will monitor your sales. Top seller each month gets rewarded with a $50 Visa gift card, and the annual top sellers receive gift baskets. But more importantly, it's about getting you to destination. So what we do is when we have a fam that comes up, and we have many of them through the year, our invite will go out to our registered trip advisors. And of course, we look at the top sellers as well. But we don't want you to not think that you're not going to get there because you're not a top seller. Because we do look at the business that you are bringing in. So if you're bringing in 1 or 2 sales and you're a trip member, you may get an invite from us. Now, the other thing to this is that not all top sellers travel. So we always have room to bring people to destination. So it's really important, 1, to register for trip, but it's really important to us to get you to destination because we know that your sales get so much stronger once you've traveled to destination. The way to know about our fams is make sure that you're registered for our newsletter as well, and then that way you'll get updates for our fams. Excuse me. We have 2 different newsletters. We have one for the U.S. and one for Canada, and those registrations will also be in your follow-up email. Now, we haven't done a webinar since early June, so we haven't announced any of our top sellers until now. So we have June, July, and August that we're covering here. And our top sellers are, oh, what happened to my card? There it is, one second. Our top sellers are Congratulations, Erica from Vision, Shannon from Voyageur, Donna from South Travel, Jose from Deluxe Travel, Skip, your getaway guru, Luann Hughes Travel, Lisa Boomerang Escapes, Uli from Castro Travel, Donna and Davo, Roxanne from AZ Trails, Donna from Palm Coast, Tracy, Travel Market Vacations, Enrique from Santa Paula Travel, Barbara from Executor Travel, and Diane from Travel Expert. So congratulations, everyone, and thank you so much for your support over the past months. We appreciate you and your business. And to everybody else, we may see your name here one day too, so make sure to register for a trip. Now, the slide that I skipped over was our FAMs. We have completed a few of them. We've done FAM during Vivid Sydney. We did our Amazing Aussie Adventure, and for the Canadians online, we're fortunate here in Canada to be able to do our FAMs on Air New Zealand as it goes from Vancouver. So if you haven't experienced Air New Zealand, definitely stay tuned to the Canadian FAMs, and we will make sure that you experience Air New Zealand as well. We do have the Tahiti Tourism Exchange coming up in December, and we will have seats for pre or post FAMs on that as well. So there's lots going on, and of course, in 2019, we'll have many more experiences for you as well. Now, for the U.S. people online, Tango is available for you. I'm sorry to my Canadians. It is not yet available for us here in Canada. And this is your online booking engine. You can actually go onto the site, even our Canadians online, and look at the video so you can see how it's going to work. But it's really fantastic. It pulls live inventory right from our system. It makes things really easy for you to book, and spits off beautiful itineraries. And the kicker here is you can see a price breakdown because you're pulling inventory from our system. So that helps when you're looking at budgets and whatnot. So keep that in mind. Continuing technologies, of course, we've got our UMAP and Access apps, and these are to make our itineraries mobile friendly. But of course, if your clients aren't looking to go with mobile apps, that's fine, because we do beautiful printed documents as well that you can share or that you can give to your clients. More exciting news, for those of you who used to work with Sarah Potter in our reservations team, she is back. So she's been off building her family and doing all sorts of exciting things, but she's come back to our mix, so we're really excited to have her back. She's a fantastic specialist in all of our destinations, so please feel free to reach out to her. Now, before I open it up for questions, the last question I have for your Starbucks card, let me open up your question box so I can see who answers this. What is the name of the Travel2 incentive? And go. Okay, first person in gave me, where is it here? Marcia Ramage. Marcia, hey, Marcia was on my last FAM actually, out on our Amazing Aussie Adventure. So Marcia, that's great. Thank you so much. I will make sure to get a card out to you as soon as possible. All right, so I'm going to open it up now for questions. If anybody has anything, please drop them in the question box now, and I will do my best to get to them. 1 second here. Well, my question box isn't opening, and I don't know why. And I saw tons of questions in here, so 1 second, I'm so sorry. Okay, for whatever reason, my question box is not opening up. So, love technology. So what we will do is when we print off the report of all of the attendees, we will see all of your questions there, and we will make sure to email you the answer to that, whether it be myself, Andrew, Ward, Yuri, or Janie. Someone will get back to you in the next couple of days with answers to your questions. Again, I do apologize that the question box is not opening up. Okay, so our next webinar is next month. It's on the 4th of October, and it's for Fiji. So we'll have Tourism Fiji and Fiji Airways. And we also have a direct supplier of some of the resorts out there as well. So we will definitely be able to get up close and personal with some of the products that we've got there for Fiji. So we hope that you can join us there as well. And I just want to take a moment again to thank everybody for coming out today. We know we went a little over in time, but I'm sure, or I hope that you found this to be very informative and helpful for your business. And if there's anything that you need at all, please let us know. I'll leave our phone numbers up for a minute, and I will also play the rest of that song that I was playing in the beginning. It's from Maisie Rika. So again, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and we hope to see you at our Fiji webinar. Take care.
Papa,